they're going to change their style.
Well, I would love to see that happen in real time, Apollo. I've always been a caster who has praised players who have been able to adapt in the moment, and this is, you know, we've seen a couple of those. You'd mentioned Alive earlier, and even though Alive, you know, did you know, ultimately blunder a little bit, he was capable of adjusting to his opponents in real time. So guys, let's introduce our players here in the Northwest. We have got, is the red Terran. It is going to be Ryung. And here in the Southeast, we've got our blue Zerg. It's going to be Lucky.
Lucky, and will he get some more Lucky Bailings off? And the thing is, the way he does board Bailings is, I saw the one we saw on the right-hand side, it was actually board Bailings within the army. The army rolls in, and he grabs 4, and then just borrows them within the army.
Right,
and it's very difficult to actually identify that there's Bailings being blown up, the siege tanks firing down. It's really difficult to actually see it happen.
Yeah, I mean, when everything's going on, and typically you're just not thinking about that being a part of the engagement, and it can certainly completely change the outcome of the game, as we've seen a couple different times. Now, what does Ryung have in store here for his opponent? There was some early pressure too. We should not forget that in game number 1, where we did see the potential for that bunker to go up and the Reaper inside of it, but the Reaper went for the main, and the Queen pretty much was able to eliminate that. At that point, the Lings just went directly for that bunker, and there's nothing that he could do.
Reaper Expand on this map is actually a pretty good build too, because there's so many different ways to enter the main base, to go around the natural. You can put a bunker behind the natural mineral line as well, so that is an option for Ryung here. And also the other option will be Reactor onto that barracks and then go for that factory. So we'll have to see what he does decide to do. Meanwhile, we have got that hatchery, and look at this, we do have an extractor first, which is the safe option, which means I want speed ASAP.
Right, and I like that, you know, especially based off of what he sees right now. He's going to see pretty limited information, but that's kind of what he wants to see. Did he manage to go in and see the gas? I think he was in and out of there. He was, as we could see, he saw everything that he needed to see here. Yeah. For the opening, and I think he can also be pretty confident that there's not going to be any early aggression taking place here, at least here in the real early moments. He is already mining his gas, and we'll see if he's going to take off after he does get up to 100, or if he'll decide to just keep on plugging away. But that hatchery is finishing up.
And this game, we actually have found an overlord, and this overlord will go down. There's nothing to protect it whatsoever. And that's a pretty nice hit right off the bat for Ryung here. And then meanwhile, he's building his factory on here, and surprisingly, he hasn't thrown down the reactor onto the barracks. So we're not going to see Hellions straight away. This could be a factory expand here. It could be just a couple of Hellions, but he is going to get the, I think it is going to be Hellions anyway, but he is just going to get the command center that much earlier.
And that is going to not only supply block Lucky here, but he's not building an overlord yet. There we just finally have one coming up, and so that is going to put him down and behind just a little bit. He is getting a queen at both of his hatcheries right now, so even off of those first injects, he's you know, he's still going to be spinning away. He did not want to lose that overlord. It's a horrible thing to have happen, as it looks like SCV's chased away about these initial Lings that made their way out. First Hellion is out now, and still no reactor here. I have a quick starport going up, and Tech Lab
staring at that actually, and he's not going for Cloak Bench or anything like that, but I'm really interested why he's gone for this. I mean, is he going to go ahead and build a Viking to get rid of overlords? That seems a little bit silly. Is he going to get a medivac this early on? Because he doesn't really have that many units yet, so this is interesting. Maybe it might just be for a Banshee, and if you do go for a Banshee, it is without Cloak, but you're looking to deny third bases with it, because the Queens obviously can't get there. It's very similar to, you know, the Void Ray in Protoss versus Zerg here.
Interesting. So we also had a Roach Warren go down, but then canceled inside the main. So I'm not sure if he saw something that he was, you know, that he needed to check out. Do you see anything off vision?
I think that he saw the factory and he saw it didn't have an add-on on it.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, okay, what are you doing?
Okay.
So he's gone for a layer now, and he's just going to go 2-base Spire. He can very easily start to take the 3rd and 4th gas now. He's building a 3rd Queen. Evolution Chamber should be going down very, very shortly here in the next 30 seconds for sure. And he's going to be quite safe here, to be honest. And this Banshee's not going to really achieve anything. You can actually see the waypoint of the starport is to the 3rd base. And it is designed to go and get that 3rd hatchery, but it isn't there. So he's kind of hit a bit of a build or the wall, you could say here.
And it's going to be heading on over, going out through the north side of the map, making its way to the northeast. We have the 1 Hellion on the outside, and there's Blue Flame going down. So somewhat of a different little transition going on over here as Lings are going to come up, and they're going to see it. So they're probably, well, I mean, I guess he could say, okay, we're going to have a transition over to tanks, but there's no Marines out really, and just what is inside that bunker. So here more Hellions are on their way. Let's put our eyes on this Banshee and see what it can do.
I don't think it's going to be able to do much. I mean, the Overlord spread is ready to accept the Banshee coming in, and now it's going to be able to get a couple of kills, but 3 Queens are going to pick it off really easy. He has to retreat. And I just wanted to go back to the, you saw those Lings did a bit of harassment. They actually killed 2 SCVs and a mule with like 4 Lings. That's actually quite a lot this early on.
And yeah, I mean, with the Hellions not really able to do much, also good scouting information was given away and picked up there by Lucky. He is throwing down his Spire right now. It's right over here in between this mineral patch and the neutral supply depot inside of the natural. He's just getting in a position. I mean, as far as units go, there his Baneling Nest just goes down. But as far as units goes, he only has the 10 Lings, and here come the Blue Flame Hellions. 3 more, the 2 Queens are down here of the 3, ready to try to defend against this. But additionally, we've also got this Banshee and a bunch of Marines. This could be pretty nasty.
Yeah, I mean, this could actually be really horrible for Lucky if he allows him to get in. He cannot let these go in. Blue Flame Hellions are going to be able to do so much damage. He's doing an excellent job with these Queens.
Oh, wow. I'm not sure why he forced the issue with that. The Marines should go down. There we have the Banshee moving forward. The Blue Flame clean up the Marines and not handled as probably as well as it could have been. There the Banshee goes down. And I mean, what was lost there? A single Queen and a few Zerglings?
Yeah. And now he's got 9 Mutalists on the way. And that would have been really, really good for Ryung if he could have gotten into there. But the creep has already been spread around the main base. There was 3 Queens, which denied the Medivac from even getting close to going in. And 8 Marines, 4 Hellions, and a Banshee would have just killed everything instantly. But he really did defend that well. And now Mutalists are out, and he's in a horrible position. He doesn't have Stim. He doesn't have that +1 like we saw Alive need to get versus Red. And now these Mutalists are going to be able to do a lot of damage here.
The Mutalisk moving on over to a place where there is just the 1 missile turret currently in production. Now he doesn't have a whole lot of Mutas, so he's got to be very, very careful about retaining as many as he possibly can. He's just going to play a game where he pokes away at the Marines. Meanwhile, Blue Flames are still spread out of here. This 1 Muta, this 2 Muta pair is just going to make these guys have a horrible day. Just not really paying attention to those units. If they were going to die, might as well had taken them in and try to do some damage, but they are just going to stay outside, just be fodder here. Meanwhile, we've got Burrow going down. We've got Baneling Speed as well. And it looks like Lucky is going to continue to play a game that he is going to control.
Yeah, and basically Ryung knows he's behind. He has to cut corners, which is making minimal turrets, getting a 3rd orbital command instead of planetary fortress. And he cannot take losses like this, DJ Wheat. He's already behind, and he's doing so well. He's not doing well enough against these.
Oh my gosh, I mean, there's so many SCVs going down. He got a tank in there. The Marines just trying to do anything that they possibly can to catch up. He's got this 3rd base up that is going to have 2 gas going as well. And just looking in just remarkable, remarkable shape. Here we've got some Hellions now making their way out, but really, he doesn't have a force to contend or be aggressive with. He's got to deal with the Muta threat as his base. He doesn't have enough missile turrets. Here comes some more Hellions, or the same 3 Hellions, I guess, and they're going to go down. I mean, even the chase on the Zerglings, right now, Lucky is cleaning everything up.
And that was actually really bad to send the Hellions over there because the Mutalists followed them, which now the Mutalists are in the middle of the map instead of in the main base of Ryung. So they're going to be able to get back to defend this drop, but they are actually going all the way back now, and Ryung did send the Mutalists with the Hellion. So this drop's going to be able to do a lot of damage at the north side, but it's scouted really early here, and he may be able to get that hatchery. Yes, it doesn't get cancelled, so that, I guess, is a win.
There is a win right there. We also have some Banelings burrowed. They are scanned. Not going to fall for it that time, but look at those. Those were not scanned in the grand scheme of things. And here we do have a drop making its way into the natural. Finally came on down. Should be cleaned up quite easily once enough units come here, and he throws away some lings. Not really wanting to do that, but there the medevac goes down. The drones will move back into position, and he cleans it up quite nicely.
Yeah, and those two Banelings on the mineral line were actually spotted, luckily, by a turret in the main base. So they were picked off, so we're not going to have any SCV blowouts in this game. But Mutalisk are getting kind of high now. It's at 21, and they are going to be able to swing around and start harassing this base. The Marines are trying to defend it as well. Currently +1, +1-1 on the way, but the Mutalisk count is getting out of control right now.
I really like, I'm glad to see Ryung actually expanding over to this position at the front. It's going to be a little bit easier for him to defend, less of a line to have to move here, but I feel like Lucky has obviously dealt with this before. He's still trying to do as much damage as he can with these mutas, finding those critical holes where you try to enter in, do some damage, and then get out without taking any damage yourself. More burrowed Banelings up at the front. Of course, these are more apt to be picked off just due to the scan and the killing of the creep spread. But this also is an orbital command, and he's going to know about that. That's going to be easy. Oh, the mutas swinging around, but they do get out.
And look at the overload spread at the south side of the map. It's really good. You're not going to get any drops past the side of Lucky in this game. And Mutalisk back onto that third base, picking off a lot of turrets. And Ryung, like I said, has to cut these corners of not making turrets. But at the end of the day, he's just been slowed down because of it anyway.
And I mean, off of the 3 bases right now, we see a 4th going up for Lucky, continuing to do that. Mutalisk harass. Now we see Ryung trying to hold on to the center of this map. And I mean, the mutas have really, again, been sort of the MVP unit here for Lucky. He's going to engage once again, forces out a stim as he's getting those medevacs lower and lower. And he is going to start moving through here, create an alternate attack path. And again, with an orbital right here that's also not rallied, yeah, he could have a really, really awesome attack path here against this third.
Yeah, I mean, that, like I said, again, you know, cutting that corner is having to get an orbital instead of planetary fortress. It's going to be really open to counterattacks and so on. And there are borrowed Banelings in the middle of the map. I think, just checking the vision, no, he doesn't actually spot the other two to the right-hand side. But he's going to force scans over and over and over. He can borrow more all over the place. The creep spread, though, isn't that impressive this game.
No, not as impressive as it was in some of the other games. But I think just the decisions that he's making have been really the impressive part of what Lucky is doing right here. He's really using his mutas to bait this army around a little bit. I feel like he might try to bait him out to the front. And oh, this Marine, he had to have seen a couple. We do have a drop in the main as well.
Yeah, it's going to be cleaned up as these moves come in. If he snipes the queen, that's pretty cool. That is a good snipe, and will slow down the production just a little bit here. And now the forces of Ryung are getting pretty good. +2 attack is about to finish very, very shortly, though, and a lot of Banelings are being morphed at this current time.
Yeah, they're being morphed, and he wants to get in and do those. We're going to have the mutas extend themselves just a little bit. A lot of Marines in this force going to pick up a drop of 8 and possibly try to go in. But as you mentioned, that overlord spread in the south is very, very nice. Going to be hard to find that little point of entry, and guess what? He did find it, as this overlord probably going to scout it there on the side. And here we go, as another drop happens in the northeast. It is cleaned up, and his defense has just been remarkable. Here, the Marines are unloaded, but they're not doing anything, and it is going to be a quick reaction, and now he's going to attack the third while this happens.
Yeah, he can't do too much, though. The defense is really good. Tanks, Marines, and turrets. And into the main base, it is cleaned up eventually. Does snipe an extractor and an additional queen once again, but is cleaned up. And look at the huge amount of forces that Ryung has. Borrowed lings. There is enough energy for a scan, but he doesn't really want to spend it on lings.
Yeah, I think that he saw units burrowed there, and so he scanned and realized it was just the lings, but I mean, he forced a scan right there too. Again, just thinking about the Marine heavy army here, just one of those hits could be completely detrimental. Here's going to be the scan, and he could, again, go in for an attack. I mean, look at what he is throwing down to ensure that he's not going to lose because a couple of burrowed Banelings, and here we have another attack in the main.
Yeah, it's going to do a lot of damage now because the units are almost cut off from the main base, because if they do try to go in, there are tanks almost in position. And look at this huge flank to this third base now.
Yeah, and I mean, the Marines are going to come on over, but it's not all the Marines. If there's even one Baneling with this force, it could be nasty. And he's going to go ahead and decide to attack anyway. The Marines are going to go down, but meanwhile, that means it's going to be Ryung who's going to come on in and attack directly into the natural. The Mute is still working on that third base a little bit at a time, but I think he's got the opportunity to just move on in here.
These Banelings.
Oh my God! Oh my God! He could have attacked right there. He could have taken out so many. The Mute is now starting to get lower and lower, and suddenly Ryung has found himself the opportunity to possibly sneak in a comeback here.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing his third base, but at the same time, the entire of the economy of Lucky is going down. He has no gas income now as he's losing these, and he's cut off any reinforcements from leaving the natural as well with these tanks, which is a really smart decision to do. And there's absolutely nothing that Lucky can do to actually stop this. He's going to try and break this contain, and the Marines and Thors have to come back to prevent these Mules just sniping all these tanks.
And the Mute is going to directly go over and top the Thor and take him down, no problem. There's another one, and he is protected by the Marines, so he has to get out of there, and he will hold on to this contain. Meanwhile, oh my gosh, he had the units up here, but he didn't react quick enough, and that hatchery does go down as well, Apollo.
And now he can just literally, he doesn't even need to move from this position. He just has to sit out there, and as long as he just forces the Zergler to stay on these two bases, you can look at the resource balance at the top right. 93 gas to 2,500. He actually can't do anything. He does not want Lucky to get this north base mining up again.
Oh, there are some Banelings in here. He might be able to bait them all up. There's 3 sitting right on top of there, but there's a split because he sees a few coming in right now. And they're not going to be able to do anything. Either he uses them right now or tries to get the bulk of those Marines up, but he's got enough to do the damage, and the Greater Spire might go down as well.
I mean, if he manages to land these 3 Banelings, the Mutalisk count is still really, really high. Oh, he does.
It was too late. He could have saved the Spire, and I think that's what he really needed to do. I mean, at this point, like, the Mutas are over here doing a ton of damage, but the amount of units that he got, this is it, 32. He's got to win with that. Can he do it?
I don't think so. Not against 3-3 Marines, especially when they're inside bunkers, and the Thor and the Marines in the main base of Lucky himself. He cannot fight against it. He needs more than that, and he's trying to rebuild at the top right, but these Mutas are doing a lot of damage to the inside of Ryung's base.
They are, and look at this. It means that Ryung is going to go ahead and make his way back. SCVs are going to be moved into quote-unquote safety over there, at least until found. We're going to have a command center going down, and he's just looking for an opportunity to hit those Mutas. He's got to be very, very careful. Here are the Mutas coming in. They find all the SCVs. The Marines firing over. They're trying to get any help they can to save those guys. And the Mutas are just, they are going to be the key to this game here.
All right, so what Ryung needs to do, he needs to get this. He only has 1 command center left. He needs to get this mining up. He's got a lot of energy there. He needs to try and defend without taking hardly any losses. On the other hand, what we need to see from Lucky is basically these Banelings. If he can land these Baneling bombs onto these Marines, and if they are hidden and they blow up, he can easily magic box the Thor and almost win the game.
Well, the Marines, they are getting a heck of a workout just trying to navigate their way around the map, trying to find any point of engagement against those Mutas. The SCVs are way oversaturated here at the third base, and he is desperately, desperately in need of finding some sort of base where he can mine from. And I mean, the Mutas right now, they are controlling, but did he get a new Spire up? I guess that is did we see a new Spire go down?
Just having a look around. No, I don't
think there
is
is one in the northeast.
Yeah, it definitely is. And what we should see Ryung do is throw down another command center very, very shortly, because he's got the upgrades, he's got the production as well, and Mutalisk going down does not want to lose these. He's maintained a lot of his production, so he can basically still build 12 Marines at a time, and with 3-3 upgrades, they're going to be able to basically kill everything. The Baneling count is only at 10, because he just doesn't have the gas.
Yeah, and I mean, the Banelings are going to be really important as this Marine counts gets higher and higher. The Mutas are not coming out, but I do like these Infestors that are on the way as well. The Mutas will be evicted out of that base just from a single missile turret. And now we've got the Banelings making their way over to the middle. Is he going to get, he's going to get a burrow right there. Not sure that he actually saw those go down. He did have vision. There's the scan to get rid of those, and a few more popping up, but they go down, and that gas is valuable. He needs that, and here are the Mutas go back in.
8 more Banelings being produced, but 8 Banelings alone, there's actually, how many tanks are left now? We have 5 tanks. There are not enough Banelings here to deal with that. They're going to die so fast. And Ryung is coming back into this series now. He's having another command center being built. He can very shortly expand here as well. And I think that he's had enough. He has to be careful about counterattacks, though, because that is going to be something he needs to focus on.
Where is is there any gas at all? No, there's no gas for the Terran. In fact, yes, there is. I think it's long distance gas mining here, which means that Marines is going to be, well, basically the primary unit here for Ryung, but that also means that those burrowed Bailings, oh, he does scan it. Wow, right on the edge. Scan is so big.
And as you said, DJ, you wanted to see adaptation, and now we're seeing it. He's dealing with this really well. And look, he's on the edge of the game right now, and this push coming up is going to be very difficult to deal with, but look at this flank attack.
Oh no, they're coming in. It's going to be huge. You're going to lose all these SCVs.
Oh my God.
Wow, and you know what? There was enough SCVs that if this command center would have gotten up, and look at this, we're gonna have a counterattack. He's going directly for the main. The macro hatch is down. It looks like the hive will get targeted next, and he's got to move all these units back over. He has lost a few Mutalisks here, but does he have enough? He lost so many SCVs here. He's got only 26 right now.
Yeah, he lost about 30 SCVs with those Bailings, and that is a lot. The hive is on the edge of going down as well. And the Mutalisk literally can't go in. 3-3 Marines, there's Thors spread across all over the place. It's very difficult for him to actually find any areas, but we have borrowed Bailings, borrowed Infestors at the north side now. They could actually come in, there's no detection. Oh, the one turret on the north side. But look at this, he puts down Infested Terrans to deal with the Marines.
And he's going to come right in. He's got the Muta count. He could totally do this. More Marines do pop up, and he actually avoided a very good strike there from the Thor. That could have been pretty nasty. Meanwhile, I feel like Ryung right now has a very good split, but he has an awful lot of medevacs over here for just the amount of Marines that he has. Could make these real powerful units, as I think he wants to go in for some sort of killing blow. He's basically relocated Lucky to a brand new base. It's almost like we spawned close by air positions now. And although the hive did go down, the greater spire is up. So he has no lair tech. If any other buildings go down, like, he cannot rebuild his infestation pit.
Yeah, he's trying to go to greater, well, he is a greater spire. He's trying to go to Broodlords, but it's so difficult to do that. Even if he does, he just doesn't have the quantity of units out right now. The Marines and Thors are going to even pick them off. Borrowed Bailings once again getting sniped off, and now there is bare minimal for Lucky to defend against this attack.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to give it his all. The Banelings are coming in. He could just leave the Thor right there, and the Thor even gets a couple of really good shots. Oh, he burrowed the Banelings.
Oh no, he
right
did
there.
it again. He's done it again.
I don't think he saw it.
Oh my God,
That was just the one, not really doing anything. But the Mutas do come on in. The Marines coming from the side. He's going to try to take out the Broodlords. Two Broodlords do pop. We got the Banelings coming in from the back. And does he have enough units coming up here? It's just this one base right now.
Oh, they get sniped off straight away, and that is the end of the game.
Wow.
GG.
Wow.
How tense was that?
Keep in mind that Ryung had 0 economy for I mean, not just like 20 seconds, Apollo, for like 2 minutes in the game. He was using his banks just on Marines at that point.
Wow,
quite amazing.
3-3 Marines. 3-3 Marines.
They're good.
Pretty good. But yeah, I mean, he really hit the balance between defending and attacking really well. He never over-committed to either one. He didn't keep too many to defend or didn't attack with too many to not have the defense he needed. And that was how he managed to do that. And I can't believe he came back from that. And looking at Lucky's face, I don't think he can kind of get that in his head either.
I think no doubt about it, Lucky was probably a couple of times during that match going, I got this. This is going to be mine. So to see the game end up like that is quite amazing. We're going to go to a quick commercial here. When we come back, it's going to be the deciding match, guys. Make some noise when we return. The winner between Ryung and Lucky for IPL 3 Origins.
I never asked for this. I never asked to be shown how human I was.
It's my time. What truth will I find in my world?
Or how much more I could become.
Rated M for mature.
Has been set. The third map will be on Tal'Darim Altar. It looks like both players are ready to go. Are you guys ready for the deciding matchup here? Seen some amazing matchups all day long.
That was absolutely great on the preview screen. You got Ryung almost praying, and Lucky's picking his nose.
Well, you know, everyone gets ready for games differently.
What do you do?
I do jumping jacks.
What a great map, though, for the last of this series.